Benedict?
Here.
Mishler?
Here.
Padilla? Here. Clark?
Here.
Connell? Absent. With notice or without notice? Without. Okay. Connell absent without notice. Beers?
Here.
Hayes?
Yes, ma'am.
Quorum established. This meeting on August 25th, 2025 is now open. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Louder, please. Louder.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
That work?
Motion carries. Agenda approved. Next item is the approval of the July minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, roll call please.
Benedict?
Here, yes.
Mishler?
Yes.
Padilla? Yes. Clark?
Yes.
Connell? Beers?
Yes.
Hayes?
I don't get to vote, ma'am.
Thank you.
Point of order. Can we have these people move closer? I'm not sure I understand. I've wondered that in the last 2 or 3 meetings. Why it's like we put them out in left field. If we could have them come closer, that would work.
Attendees, if you'd like to move closer.
Does anyone need assistance?
We don't bite.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, motion carried. The minutes of the July meeting is. We have public comments. Public comments are limited to 4 minutes. Persons addressing the board should state their name and address and direct their comments to the president. No public comments. Moving forward, we have bills for payment. Any questions?
We are writing a check for monthly cleaning to Fairy Tale Cleaning Company. We may be needing a new cleaning company without going into too much detail. One of the members of the company was reported, picked up by ICE and reported. We were unaware of that and sent our sympathy to the family. Thank you.
This was Fairy Tale Cleaning? This was Fairy Tale Cleaning?
Yes,
I move that we approve the bills to pay the ramp and the checking account registry.
Is there a second?
Support.
Madam Secretary, roll call please.
Benedict?
Yes.
Mishler?
Yes.
Padilla? Yes. Clark?
Yes.
Beers?
Yes.
Motion carries. Bills for payment approved. Director and President report. Director Hayes. We have a presentation. TLN Library Cooperative. Thank you, Director Hayes.
you're welcome, ma'am. I'd like to introduce Stephen, the head of the TLN Library Cooperative.
Can
Couple
we-
faces look familiar. Sorry. Okay, is that better?
Thank you.
Alright, hopefully this will work. Alright. So Greg invited me to come, whoa, now I need to sit back. To come give the presentation we had with the staff. We took a lot of questions from them. Welcome questions tonight if you have questions from the board as well. So my little thing here, we're more than a vendor, we're the library cooperative that provides an array of services. We're not for profit, established by the state as a different type of library, a cooperative library. The point of the cooperatives is to help many libraries work together to do projects that they couldn't necessarily do on their own. So we'll look at a couple of our big services. For Holly Township in particular, since you've already approved membership, our board approved that as well. So October 1, Holly will be a member of the cooperative. Greg and I have taken care of bullet point number 2, or many of them, signing the service agreements that you all approved for the shared catalog and for delivery and for our Overdrive Livy app shared purchasing. So again, the membership starts October 1. That's the state fiscal year. It's also our fiscal year at the cooperative. As early as that October 1, we'll be working with Greg and the team here to move your Libby Overdrive subscription to our cooperative, but we'll work with Greg and the needs of the team here to finish that move over. For our shared Libby Overdrive collection, we spend about $500,000 a year, which is a lot more than many of the co-ops do. So those are for shared titles. And then of course, Holly can buy whatever Advantage individual titles that you want as well. And that, all of the pricing for that is in the quote that Greg signed. So there's no surprises in there. Our delivery as well, you signed up for, that can begin as early as October, but probably won't because it's more, well, it can if you want for your rides materials. But you'll see the big bump in delivery once you're in the shared system because you'll be sharing stuff back and forth with the other libraries. Our delivery delivers about 3 million items a year, or really 1.5 million, but everything comes and goes once, sometimes more than once if there's an issue. So we're pretty busy and we cover, as a co-op, 6 counties right now. Delivery though we don't do in Genesee, they haven't had a need for that. But we're delivering broadly throughout our service region. So many stuff you'll request from our,
You deliver to Oakland.
of course, yeah. A lot of ours is in Oakland County. But we do a lot in Wayne County as well. And then Livingston is limited because we don't have as many libraries there, but we have 5 trucks out on the road Monday through Friday. And then our shared system, the catalog, we'll be working with the team here to do the project planning for that. That's a bigger process. It probably wouldn't happen until maybe January of this coming year. So you won't be charged for that service until you start up that service. But we'll be doing a lot of preliminary work on that. So even some of the team here, we've been discussing the barcodes in the books, and the barcodes on your library cards are different than what the system handles. So we'll be doing a process to convert all that before you go live in the system. Also, you currently use barcodes, but part of your membership includes tagging all your books with RFID tags, which is a newer technology, which is like, if you're at the supermarket or something and they deactivate a security tag, it's kind of like that. It's all, you don't have to actually scan the item. But the tags we put on will have both barcodes and RFID and how they can use whichever they want. But many people in the system use the RFID part. So that price is included as well, which will save you a chunk of change in converting to that new technology. So that's some of the broad timelines, if you have any questions on that at the moment. Yeah.
How many libraries are there?
Oh, sure. In the shared catalog, there are 50 libraries, counting Holly. You'll be 50. And then Brandon is represented in the audience. I mean, Springfield, sorry. Yeah, Brandon's not here. Brandon is considering joining the shared catalog as well, but they haven't decided yet. So once they heard you were doing it though, they said, Steve, I need to talk to you. And Brandon was in it years ago. They had a director that moved them out and they might move back. So that would be 51 if they join. Outside of the shared catalog too, we have 25 other libraries that, big libraries that have their own catalog and do their own thing. So I still think they benefit from the shared catalog. I'll talk a bit more about the shared catalog coming up too. So I've already mentioned we'll be doing some project planning. There'll be a process to guide everything. But pretty much we'll work with the team here, they'll have questions that come up and we'll try to change what we need to fit the needs here at Holly specifically. The one thing we usually don't change though is there's a lot of standards the system's based on, and we don't, we have to keep everything standard so it all works in the future. So just to remind the board, I did talk to some of you, I think a couple of years ago, but for those of you who haven't seen me before, I wanted to do a broad overview of our big services, especially the ones that Holly will be able to take advantage of. So any of you use Libby app? Yeah, Download Destination is the name of our shared group for Libby. So whether you call it Libby or Overdrive, same thing. And I already mentioned we spend about $500,000 a year on titles that are shared within the cooperative. So all the Holly residents and the rest of your service area will have access to those titles. We also did work the past several years that you'll be able to borrow now statewide. So anywhere in Michigan that has a title, if your patrons want to check those out, they'll be able to check them out if they're available. So Libby's just kind of like your physical books. It's one copy per user. Yeah.
Would you go back over that last statement?
The statewide?
You said if you didn't have the book, and someone else had it, you could get it, or the
Yeah.
patron could get it?
Yes, if it's available in the system. But so now you can do that statewide. It used to be only what your library has and then only what your co-op has. But now we've made connections that you can search statewide, and if there's a title available, you can check it out. So Libby though is like your bookshelves here. If it's not on the shelf, it's not available for checkout. Because of the licensing, it's one copy per user. So if one user has it checked out, nobody else can check it out. But you get a lot more access by being able to search statewide. There'll be some, that works, but they're going to make it even better this fall from the company that runs Overdrive. Well, Overdrive is the company, but Libby. So we'll keep everybody updated when those changes occur as well. But most of the groups though are not spending anywhere near what we're spending for the shared titles. So your subscription that we agreed to buys you into the shared system and then access to all those shared titles that we have. Right now we have about 80,000 titles, and it grows each year. So, any more questions on Libby Download Destination?
Can I ask a question? So, if we're part of Download Destination, does it depend on what cooperative you're in? Does it weight your hold time in Libby?
Yes, if I'm understanding your question correctly, every title that Holly owns, your patrons are first in line for those titles. So it doesn't matter when people got in line, your patrons always go to the top.
Okay.
The same for the cooperative, your patrons are at the top for your titles, and the same for statewide. So if you have a title that's really popular and nobody else owns it, if you got all those statewide partners requesting, and there's a list of 10, and then a Holly person comes, they go to the top of the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that does it.
So the software does a lot to make sure your patrons get priority for your own materials. And then everybody else in line, if their library doesn't own it, then it's in line according to when they got in line.
Okay.
Yeah, the ebooks in particular, naturally, it's a bit of a problem. There's wait lists because people want. Do you all have Hoopla? I can't remember.
No.
No, okay. Yeah, Hoopla is a bit different model. It's pay to play basically, or on demand. So those are always available, but then your library has to pay every time somebody checks one out. So this model for Overdrive, Libby is what most libraries do, and it's like a traditional print book model. You buy a copy and one person at a time can use it. Yeah. Okay. So our shared automation system is, now we're talking the physical items here in the building. That's our catalog. So there's just a screenshot of the catalog. But we have 4 million items in there. So, you know, if you've got 50,000 on your shelf, you can add 4 million to that number that your patrons will now be able to request and have delivered here through the delivery system. And depending on where it's coming from, it can come overnight or it may take 2 or 3 days depending on when they request it and who has it. So that will come from anywhere in our 6 counties in the shared system. It's about 1 million titles, 4 million items. So, you know, a lot of titles have more than one copy available. So same for, well, we'll go over the workflows with the staff here. The requests are filled a bit differently. Yours don't go at the top. It's the first available copy fills your patron's request, if that makes sense. So if Sally Smith places a copy, if you have it and she's here, obviously it'll fill it from that, but otherwise the first available copy in the system gets sent to her. So when we go over workflows with the team here, we'll show them, you know, you pull your own stuff in the morning to make sure your patrons get that first, and then, you know, throughout the day as you see need. So we're starting out, I think, with 2 days of delivery, is that right? Yeah. So we'll come on Tuesdays and Thursdays to do deliveries. As your patrons get used to the shared system, Greg and I can discuss if you need more days of delivery to, you know, if you're getting a lot more requests. So we'll look at the volume on that and give him the info and help him make a decision if he needs to up and ask you all for additional days. But 2 days should be good to start. So we do our shared system stuff, but we also do the rides delivery from Melcat. So that delivery will come in through us as well. All right, so we also have our reciprocal borrowing, and this can also start October 1st with the caveat that we gotta figure out how we want that to happen since you won't be in the shared system yet, but it's still doable. So this will, on October 1, allow Holly residents to walk into our library, into Springfield, into Brandon, into Oxford, you know, anywhere around that's another TLN library, and check out books. Some libraries allow them to check out other things, but the base is books. And since you're not in the shared system, you'll be able to borrow up to 30 books at a walk-in. And then it ups a bit once you're in the shared system to 100 items. But that's just a convenience, you know, if you have a resident that lives closer to another library on the edge of town or something, they might want to visit a different library. Or if they see that the other library has certain books that they want, they might want to go visit that library. So there, you know, quite a few locations. This includes Genesee County, so if they want to go to any of the branches in Genesee County, they'll be able to do that as well. I don't remember off the top of my head what the checkout limit for Genesee is, but they're in the reciprocal borrowing. Any questions on this one?
I have a question.
Yeah.
And you may have already answered this previously, but will patrons need a new library card?
Yes and no. So
Okay.
let me explain.
Thank you.
They need a new barcode. I've sent the team here some options to look at. You know, do they want to replace the cards, or they do want to slap a new sticker on the old cards? So I don't have a complete answer for that yet. Greg, I don't know if you have an answer yet either.
We are looking at getting new cards.
Okay.
We're looking actually at getting adult cards and kid cards. And Debbie and I talked today about having a card designed for children.
I love that.
It's pretty neat the stuff they can do nowadays. You can give them any picture to print on your card. As Greg said, you know, maybe if you have a contest, the winners will be printed on the card. So, you know, if no changes are made by October 1, they'll be able to walk into participating libraries with their existing card. Eventually, though, before you join the catalog, we have to switch out those barcodes. So I was telling Greg the easiest way would be to buy new cards for everyone. They're not super expensive. And then you'd have it, you know, you could, whatever you want to put on them, to say, you could put, you know, our logo on them as well if you want to have a call out to the new membership that you have. So there's all kinds of options for that. I know, and we also are working on a plan for the school libraries that are registered with you, because they're using a different number at the moment. So we're trying to figure out what we wanna do for that. Okay. So that's coming October 1. October 1, we can start delivery, but it'll just be your rides and materials for now until you're in our shared catalog, and then you'll see an increase in the volume. Any question on that? That's one of our trucks. We like to put billboards on the sides to promote libraries. All right. So for the staff here, but also for board members, if you would be interested, we do a lot of webinars and other events, and those, almost all of those are no charge. So feel free to check out tln.org/special events, I usually say, because that has the bigger things coming up. But if you just click on our events tab at the top of our website as well, you'll see all the stuff. And there's, beyond the events that you all may be interested, there's a lot of staff engagement for committees, interest groups, other communities that they can join if they want to be part of, connecting with other libraries. But none of that's required, it's all just enrichment, I guess. Any questions on that?
Will board members have access to this with their regular library card, or should we set up?
Most of the events, anybody can register, even the public. But if we send out something, yeah, they won't need a card to register, it's a simple answer, I guess. A lot of stuff, we might just send out a link for a webinar and you can share it with the board if you want to. They can also, if any of you are interested, we have an email list that sends out updates to libraries. You can join it if you want, but it might be boring as well, because we're doing a lot of library business on there. But Greg can always share stuff too, if he thinks there's something you all might wanna attend. Even some fun stuff every summer, we have like an annual picnic, if some of you wanna come to that event. We have free lunch and a speaker or games or whatever. If you wanted to send a couple of reps up, that might be fun. That is usually up by our office in Novi at the park there, but it moves around sometimes. But we have like a technology forum that we do annually that's coming up. I should know the date off the top of my head, I don't, but so that one is a for-fee event, but if anybody's interested in technology, you can take a look at that. And a lot of stuff for the staff again. Actually, we have a neat one coming up this fall for the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. There's a gentleman that lives up north that wrote, one of the big books on it. So he's going to be speaking for us on a webinar. So that you'll see that info come out and you can share with everybody. That's a free registration. So we do a bit of public programming too, but not near as much as what you all do at the libraries. All right, so this part we were showing staff, they can join committees and interest groups. If one of you wanted to be on an interest group or something, that would be fine. If there's a topic that you want to track for the board, then we would just make a website account for them as well. So the staff's been waiting for their accounts for our website because we have a member login for doing behind the scenes activities. We have their accounts made, but I'm going to schedule with Greg to do an intro meeting to show them how to use that. So if we can try to schedule that tonight before I head out. And then we also have support communities for marginalized groups within the library staff. So again, we're mainly working with library staff, and you all are working with the public. So we have the Rainbow Connection, the Vibrant Voices, and the disability community. Okay, this is another thing we send out weekly. If the board was interested, they could be on it, or if Greg sees something you'll be interested, he could forward it. This goes out to all the staff, so we send it out to about 1,500 people a week, or every other week, depending on what we're doing. But this just gives the staff a summary of what's going on for the week as a group in TLN. So any activities we have coming up, sometimes there's resources we share, for Mental Health Month or something that they can share with the public here. Just a way to keep everybody connected in our group. So here's my contact if you need it again. I'm Steven at the top there. DJ and Damon send their regards. They made it part of the way here and the car broke down. Luckily they were stopped to get gas, so they didn't make it here tonight. Damon will come at some point though to go do an overview of our technology offerings. So you've joined these services, but we also offer computer desktop support for your public terminals or for your staff terminals. We have security software, all kinds of different things that we sell at cost to the libraries. So again, we're not making profit. We're a not-for-profit library. Any questions from the board?
I didn't hear you mention the cost.
I did not mention. You all approved it a couple months ago, in June. I could try to go over. I don't remember exactly all the costs.
$12, I think.
Yes, $12. Delivery is about $650 a day for the year. So you're doing 2 days, so that would be about $1,300 for delivery. The download destination, I can pull those up. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's a chunk of change because the shared purchasing for the ebooks, maybe that was around
Yeah, I think that
15,000.
was
Like 42,000.
Yeah, for all the stuff. Okay, so if that number helps, Greg said it was about 42 a year. Most of our stuff doesn't increase too much a year. The catalog goes up about 5% a year based on our contract with the software provider and other costs that go into that. Although if Brandon joins, it may go down slightly because there's like a shared cost, and then we also price out based on how many books and stuff you have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's very
Do
informative.
you have a list of the Genesee County ones?
Of the libraries?
Yeah, like you have it up. Is it like the Flint Public Library part of this?
Oh, sorry. No, only Genesee District. So Flint is not. Flint and Holly were the two that were not, basically. So Flint is the only one. They have their own catalog. I don't know. Maybe someday they'll talk to us too.
They have a pretty huge collection.
Yeah, I think sometimes we may have done some technology work for them because we also do work for libraries not in the cooperative.
Okay.
Like Library of Michigan, we do work for them for technology stuff. So when Damon comes, he'll talk about the desktop support and other things we offer. That's all at a cost. If you want to use those services, you can even buy hours of repair work. So if you say this year we want 20 hours or something, and then we come and fix stuff when it breaks. We also have our wide area network. So if you're interested in doing internet through us, we offer that. And if you do internet with us, we also do your federal paperwork for the reimbursement for E-rate, which for those of you that have to do it, like Greg, it's nice that we do it, so you don't have to. But almost all of our services, though, is if you want it, you can use it. If not, that's fine. Any other?
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you.
for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Stephen.
We're glad to be a part of it.
Happy to have.
We are now moving on to the director and president report. Director Hayes, you have the floor.
Thank you, ma'am. Page 482. As Stephen spoke of, TLN switch will be, our switch is September 11th. That's when we legally, I will talk loud. That's the night that the MMLC board will vote to approve our transfer to TLN. They'll also write us a check for our remaining deposit as funds, which is approximately $71,000. We will begin a social media campaign on the 12th of September to prepare patrons for the switch, purchasing new library cards, as we said. And again, probably children's cards, do a design contest. three of our staff members went to Springfield today to do some observations. Our health insurance costs, I think I included that in one of the weekly reports, are rising about 11% this year. Currently have 6 staff members, soon to be 7 on the plan. Our monthly premium is $2,600. Remodeling, all of our colors and finishes have been selected. We need to hire a local printing or a local painting company to work with library design. One of our staff members is gonna have major surgery in the fall. And,
Can I ask a question?
yes, sir.
Just for everybody, when is this gonna happen, the remodeling?
I still don't have a definite date, but we're looking at probably the 3rd week of October with a shutdown of 3 weeks.
Thank you.
The surgery that our staff member is having will probably coincide, thank you, with the remodeling closure. I'm probably gonna ask the board permission to hire an ongoing substitute for this person. This person is a clerk and works a full 40-hour week, so having a substitute pick up that time and having one on hand to be able to pick up for unexpected absences or illnesses might be a good thing. The staff member will use up their vacation time first, and then for our policy, they will go on family leave and then the Family Leave Act, which is 40% of their pay for the end of, until they return. Email addresses. I'm lying to you, I didn't hand out email addresses yet, but I will send them all to you tomorrow. They're part of the Public Library domain. The reason you consider using one of those is as elected officials, you're using your personal email that is subject to FOIA. So a crazed patron could ask to look at your personal email. I recommend highly using a Holly Library email address. And I'll send them out to everybody. If you choose not to, that's entirely up to you. I believe that's everything. Stephen, can I ask a question? You said shared starts in January, you think?
Well, that's my guess at the moment, but we haven't had our initial meeting with you.
So we would still be using our current
Yes.
system until January. Okay.
You know, I think that would give us the fall to convert the books, and, you know, hopefully you'll get your cards done soon. And so we have an internal meeting tomorrow to discuss that project planning with just TLN staff, and then we'll be scheduling soon with your team to talk about that plan.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And thank you, Madam President.
Okay, I do not have a president report. We will be moving to old business. The first item is the district library subcommittee members and meeting dates. Joe?
As board meeting discussion item. I don't see it on here, but it's for meetings.
Page 15.
Page 15, Joe.
What? Okay.
Did you find what you're looking for?
Got page 15.
I have page 15. This appears to be page 16.
did not, since it's a board prerogative, set meeting dates and appointments.
Okay. So this item was requested by you, Joe, to appoint members and set meeting dates for the district library formation.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Yeah, I agree.
So we had a little bit of, I think we touched upon this last time, and so we're continuing that conversation. Did you have any thoughts? Did anyone have any thoughts on this going forward on this particular discussion item?
Are we going to appoint a committee?
Yes.
I'm interested. I don't know if that's how you want to go.
Okay, we will form a. Is there a motion to move forward and form the subcommittee?
I motion to form a subcommittee.
Second?
Motion carries to form a district formation library subcommittee. So on that topic then, we are appointing members. Joe Mishler has indicated he would like to join this subcommittee. Is there anyone here else on the board who would like to join this subcommittee?
During our last meeting, I expressed interest in joining the subcommittee, and I'll continue that.
Okay, I will add you to the list. Director Hayes?
I would also like to be part of that.
Thank you. So far, I have 4 names. I have Joe Mishler, Cassandra Padilla, Director Hayes, and Abigail Beers. The other item for this discussion item is setting those meeting dates. So what does that frequency look like, and what would be cadence on
I
those?
think the director is automatically on the committee as an ex officio member, if I'm not mistaken, because he's not a member of the board per se. And I think you have to have a 3-member committee from the board.
Okay.
So you, as I understand it, Robert's rules and all that stuff, you are an ex officio member. Greg would be an ex officio member, meaning that they could attend meetings and participate and do all of that kind of stuff.
Does that count for attendance? With 4 board members or 4?
If you have 4 board members, now we're talking about, it would have to be an open meeting with the Open Meetings Act. I personally don't have a problem with that. The more transparency we have, the better off we're going to be. Because once word gets out, people are gonna wanna know, you might as well get ahead of it rather than trying to catch up with it.
Okay.
So, Joe, just a question for you, to clarify my understanding. So with the existence of 4 board members, well, 3 board members on the subcommittee and then 2 who are the president and the director, would we be anticipating this being an open meeting, inviting the public and just serving as a special meeting of the board? Is that correct?
That's kind of what it would be, yes.
Okay.
Because because we only have 6 members, so a quorum is actually 4.
Right. So if the president were to be in attendance, we would be at 4,
Right.
and that would be a quorum.
Yeah. So you'd have to set a special meeting.
I'm in agreement with Joe. I don't mind that being a scheduled special meeting open to the public. I feel like the public's participation and comment could be helpful as well.
So before we, I guess we just want clarification. So we're going to open to the public about our decision to go forth in creating a district library, and we kind of just want to inform.
Yes.
So I think the main point is really truly understanding what that process looks like, since, I'm still learning what that process is, and it appears to be relatively complex, right? There's several layers. The next couple pages here are the informational sheet of all of the things that fall under that umbrella, which based off of these 3 pages would indicate several special meetings. What is the board thinking in terms of how many meetings this would take to accomplish this subcommittee's goals?
Well, it might take, 2 or 3 meetings to establish the plan, how you're gonna go about it. That would be the initial thing, just to try to create, some plan of operation as to how you're gonna go about accomplishing this particular thing. I know there are, without looking at it, I know there are a number of steps that you have to go through. But I'm sort of talking initially about, okay, we're gonna look into this, now how do we go about it? And we create a, how do we go about it?
Actually, if you don't mind, I did some research on it about the first potential steps to be able to go forth in this decision. And of course, one of the first things is making sure that the majority wants to move forward with this and creating a committee for it. If I could find, here we go. So I've got, it's kind of what Madam President said about the info sheet that she has in the packet, but I've got it a shortened version. So it's basically 3 major areas in which we have to complete this. There's establishment, funding, and then boundaries. And I got this info from Oak, what was it? I got it here. Oakgov.com. So I was able to get a lot of this information on their website. It was a PDF I ended up looking up. So basically, the main steps is like about, there's 6 steps, but the first one is preliminary meetings. So does everyone want this as a community? The second is creating resolutions, connecting with other municipalities and start to plan and appoint representatives to the District Library Planning Committee. And then after that, step 3 is that committee deciding who the participating libraries in the district will be, and then connecting with them. And then going over other provisions that are required by the 1989 PA 24 Act. And then after that, we talk to the attorney and get an agreement officially written and then signed and approved by the participating municipalities and the directors. And that will be where we talk to our attorney. I saw that we were going to have a special meeting next month, Tuesday, where we were talking with our attorney. So maybe we can bring that up as well during that. The 5th step is filing with the Library of Michigan. So we send those resolutions to the Library of Michigan, and they can approve or disapprove within 30 days. But this is like a few months worth of processes of creating meetings, making sure everyone's on board, deciding who's gonna be on it, getting with our attorney, filing a resolution, and then sending it out. And then it gets approved or denied. That's the first main steps. If that
When you
helps.
do the resolutions to go to other townships,
Yes,
so we would have 3, that's gonna take some work,
yes,
that's gonna take some planning.
yes.
It isn't gonna be, you're gonna waltz into Holly Township and lay it on them and they're gonna go, oh yeah. Or Rose Township or Groveland,
That's where
depending on
our
what your,
attorney comes in.
depending on what your boundaries are.
Yeah.
Because that does take a lot of planning, and I've talked to a number of people who have done district libraries. That's one of the big hurdles, is to convince these people, this is what we need to do. And we also need to come up in the plan, why are you doing this? And I don't disagree with that, I think they pretty much summarized what's already in what was handed out in the packet. I have the full act at home that I've read through 3 or 4 times, and I can't say that it helps with you staying awake, but, it is a complicated political process. And what I'm saying is if you get this committee, and you get started without ideas on how to go about this, going along with what that suggests, what comes first? What do we do first?
First, I would propose first is talking to the public. Make sure that the public is something they want to conglomerate, because they're the ones that are paying for the millage as well. They're going to be helping funding for this. So we'll have to come up with that plan as well.
I understand that, that's what I'm suggesting, we get the committee together, and we get some of this preliminary stuff done. If we have to hold public, we call them public hearings or public meetings, that's fine. But I think we need to get the very basic ground rules set. And, like, one of the things I would suggest is that we come back, if this committee meets, that this committee would come back at the next meeting and put a motion out there to see where everybody see if the entire library board is in favor of this. And, I don't know where everybody stands, so, I think that would be probably one of the things we'd have to discuss, and that would mean we'd have to come up with a discussion of why you wanna do this. What's out there that's sort of looking at us and maybe wanting to gobble us up, or however you wanna call that. But I think there's some very preliminary things, like boundaries. I have no idea where Rose and Groveland Township stands on all this, and that's gonna take some work. And I think that's an important step, and with some of the people that I've talked to, Claire went for district library a few years back. They had to go to 5 or 6 townships, plus the city of Claire. And it took them about a year to do all of that, because, going to those meetings, it might require you to go to 2, 3, 4 meetings. And there's a strategy to how you would go to those meetings, what you would talk about, that kind of stuff. And in the end, they got them all but one. And even today, that one doesn't even have a library, so it is gonna take a lot of very preliminary work. And, getting public input is an important part of it, but also I think putting the board on record as, here's the motion, where does everybody stand?
Correct.
I think that's a critical step. If there are people that don't wanna go on to this, then I think we have more work to cut out for us. But I like how they've simplified it. It's not very simplified in state law, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's like,
It was like 34 pages of like
and
crazy.
you read it and you go, really? Okay. But, yeah, so there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and that's what I'm suggesting. Let's get a committee together. If the committee changes over the next 2 or 3 months because we've changed whatever it is we're gonna do, that's fine too. But let's get it started.
Yeah.
And I would say to the committee, the first charge would be, coming up with why we should go to it or why we shouldn't go to it.
I agree.
And then we should come back here and, put it on the floor, and let's decide right here. Where does everybody stand? And if that means that at some point in the middle, we have to have a public hearing, so be it. I don't personally have a problem with a public hearing. just depends on how you control it. You know, cause people are gonna wanna know, why are you doing this?
Right.
Now, my ideas of why we're doing it may be different than your ideas, or everybody around here, we may have different views as to why we should do this. So that's I think an important point that we would need to get established. If we're gonna do it, why are we gonna do it? And the reasons should be pretty solid reasons.
Would we like to move forward with scheduling a preliminary meeting for the subcommittee to establish our why and go over some of these points?
That's what I'm suggesting, yes. But have we voted on this committee yet?
We have not.
Okay, so that motion is still on the floor. Madam Chairman.
We had a motion by Beers, we had a second by Padilla. Roll call vote, Benedict,
No, wait a minute, wasn't there 3 people?
that was the motion and that was the second, that was just recalling the motion.
In the motion, you should have who
So-
the 3 people are.
Alright, let me start over then. Alright, move to establish the subcommittee of, board members Joe Mishler, Cassandra Padilla, Abigail Beers, and, ex-official members Benedict Dan Hayes for the purpose of the district library subcommittee. There was a motion of support. Do we have a motion of support for that, committee of members?
There was a second.
Okay, so we had a motion by Beers, second by Padilla. Roll call vote. Benedict,
Yes.
Mishler,
Yes,
Padilla, yes. Clark,
Yes.
Beers,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, motion carried. The next item on our,
Before we move forward, would we like to discuss and establish a date for the initial subcommittee meeting?
yes.
since we're probably looking at September.
Mhm.
I would suggest we go the week after Labor Day. That's gonna be a little, school and everything. I would suggest either the 10th or the 11th in the evening,
Let's take a look at my calendar, if you don't mind.
or if somebody would like to meet late afternoon, like 3 or 4.
I would not be available at that timeline.
Okay. Anybody have another idea? I don't know.
September 11th is unavailable, it's the MMLC meeting here.
Oh, God, I forgot about that. Okay.
Would anybody be opposed to attending a Saturday morning meeting for this particular subcommittee?
I would not be opposed.
We could consider September 13th. Joe?
I could do that.
Alright,
I am not available that day. Is that Director Hayes, are you available? Okay. So I hear Saturday, September 13th.
Do we have a time that works best for all subcommittee members? Would
What did you say? Okay, yeah.
That was Director
remove
Hayes.
myself from the meeting.
How about a morning meeting, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I would
10 o'clock.
say 10 o'clock would be reasonable.
yes.
Now, this is gonna have to be open to the public, right?
Yes, we can,
So you're gonna have to
We
make,
can
he's gonna
publish
have
and
to
share
make that
that.
notice.
okay,
Okay,
Actually, it's not, because you only have 3.
we would only have 3. Oh,
yeah, but if she attends
She's,
She
she's
cannot.
not available on that day, right?
Oh, on the 13th.
No, I'm not available.
Oh, okay. Okay,
And the location would be here,
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 always library.
there's the conference room and wherever.
bring your own coffee. We have a patron comment.
The meeting room is available, until noon,
Until when?
Perfect.
until noon.
Okay,
All right, meeting room.
well, we can always go back in that room.
Or the adult room, yeah, either one.
Well, that's not available from 10 to 11, so.
I think the meeting room sounds like a great place to meet.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Moving forward, the next item on the old business is dinner, April Brandon recognition. Director Hayes?
Yes, ma'am. This Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And I would ask anyone interested in attending, if they haven't, to contact Jessica via email or phone or.
Pigeon, I don't care.
There will be pizzellis and, per her request, and pops. We can get an alternative. And that is that, Madam President.
Okay. Any further questions or comments?
Were there any requested actions for this, or is this just, looking for
I just need-
donations or support?
No, I just need numbers so we don't get
Okay.
too much food.
Thank you.
How many people we got so far?
3. 2 and 1.
Okay.
Got my name, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not available on that date, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if the RSVP is no, that's fine. It's still just helpful to have a number. So if you could just let me know, appreciate it.
Okay. The next item on our old business is the invasive species proposal.
Madam President, last meeting, Chris Summers presented on what's going on in our backyard, and his bid to me did not seem outrageous. So I would like to urge the board to approve his treatment.
I'll move that we approve the bid by
Chris Summers.
Chris Summers for the invasive species.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Motion carried that the invasive species remediation will be done by Summers Invasive Species Control. Moving on to new business is the special
Are we gonna
meeting.
vote on it?
Yes. Thank you, Joe.
April used to do that too.
All right,
Roll call, Madam President.
secretary.
Sorry. Secretary.
Benedict,
Yes.
Mishler,
Yes.
Padilla, yes. Clark,
Yes.
Beers,
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, new business for the special meeting in September. We have 3 items under this special meeting. It'll be the FOIA and Open Meetings Act. All of these items will be things that we can be discussing with the attorney, who will be in attendance virtually. The other item that we will be open to discuss with the attorney will be the millage language process, any questions in regards to that for 2026. And the last topic would be for the district library formation, anything in regards to maybe obstacles or any further discussion on those topics. Director Hayes, is there a agreed upon date for that special meeting that she's available?
Yes, ma'am. It would be September 23rd. So I would be asking the board to change our meeting, our regular meeting, which would have been on the 22nd, to the 23rd of September, if anyone is available, at 6 p.m.
unavailable.
I'm good.
I would be unavailable that evening. I would be available on Wednesday that week, but not Tuesday or Thursday.
I think it was one of the dates she said. I can go back and ask her, depending on how you want to read this.
Who's supposed to be?
Our attorney?
Okay. Yeah, be here on the 23rd.
Yes, sir.
She can be here.
I cannot.
Abigail?
I can.
I can be here on the 23rd. I can be here on the 24th too, so. In case you have to switch it. Just sort of for clarification on this meeting, the about the Freedom of Information Act. I've been here almost 6 years. There's been one Freedom of Information Act, right? One. And that didn't turn out very well for the person who filed. Because they got information that helped our side, not their side. But we only have one, so.
So, with the attorney, this would be a topic that if the new board members feel that this would be a topic they have
Yeah,
any questions
I'm
or
just-
concerns.
I've just given a little clarification.
There was a second requested action for this, in moving the board meeting
Yes, ma'am.
to follow the special
need a
meeting
motion
with
for
the
that?
attorney. Yes, is there,
I'll move.
is there a
We'll
motion?
change the date to September 23rd at 6 PM.
The special meeting at 6 PM.
Special meeting.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Benedict,
Yes.
Mishler,
Yes.
Padilla, yes. Clark,
Yes.
Beers,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Madam President. If I may comment, I wanted to bring up millage language because our attorney writes the millage language for us, and current millage expires in 2026. What is helpful is there is state law that if we pass a millage and the village becomes a city or the township becomes a charter township, they are obligated to honor the millages that we pass, and the current board stays seated.
Probably unlikely the status would change with either municipality in that time period.
Understand? Okay. Thank you.
With that,
And all appointed board members will be on the November, if they want to run again, have to be on the November ballot of 2026.
Okay.
Thank you.
And this can be handled properly in 2026.
I don't have to run, so I'm good.
Thank you, Madam President.
Final,
But that, he does have a good point on that election. It might be wise of us to get out in front of it and make sure the petition process is for anybody, not just the members, but for anybody to make sure that that petition process is clear and none of this nonsense that happened at the last election. 'Cause that was embarrassing.
thank you, Joe. Last item is board member and public comments. Are there any comments from the public?
Hi, I'm Christina Costigan. I'm a director at Springfield Township Library. Our former director retired.
Do you mind coming
Nope,
to the
no
podium,
problem.
Christina?
No problem.
My name is Christina Costigan. I'm the director at Springfield Township Library. I've been there for over 15 years, but I've been working with our retired director for the last 6 months. She's officially retired as director. And I just wanted to say we're really excited that Holly is joining the library network. It's always, you know, a really tough thing with the patrons that kind of live in that in-between, the Rose Township especially, but Rose and Holly, and Groveland Township patrons, people who come in that we have to send them back here, or, you know, there's all that bureaucracy. So we're really excited to work with you guys, and I know TLN, you know, is gonna help you guys go on board, but we are also willing and welcome people to come visit us, the staff here, or any board members who have questions as well. Bring them to us. I know we had several people today to kind of observe, and if there's anything we can do on our end to make this transition easier, we are willing to do that. So that's kind of, just wanted to share that and welcome you to TLN as a neighbor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Tina Brissette, Adult Services Manager here at the Holly Township Library. I was going to thank Christina because she met with myself and some of the circulation staff, and also with Jessica, our teen librarian, this morning. And she's been very welcoming. I've been here 7 years, and as I said at last meeting, I'm so excited that we're going to be part of TLN. So I want to thank the board for voting that in. But I think that we're looking forward to working with TLN, and I think the changes will be great. So I want to thank everyone for voting yes for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Jessica Riddle, I'm the Teen Services Manager here at the library, and unlike everybody else, not to be the stick in the mud, I'm not quite as excited yet. I'm hoping things work out, but I've run into some significant problems with some of my stuff that's super important to me and the kids, especially with the school partnership. And I do think that we're gonna work it out. Christina said that she's gonna help me work it out as well. I'm concerned that we'll be able to figure out a solution in the very short time frame that we have before everything switches over. So with that being said, if anybody has any ideas, if you have ideas, if anybody has any ideas, if anybody's part of another TLN library or in the school system, or if anybody has any ideas or support at all to offer, or avenues to explore to make sure that we are keeping equitable access for our kids at the middle and high school. Because just the fact that, yes, obviously they will still be allowed to get a typical TLN card, but they have accessibility issues between getting here and stuff like that, so the equitable access is super important to me. I do think we'll be able to work it out, it's just I'm very concerned about the timeline. Also, you guys, it was already voted on, but I just have a quick question about, would you guys be open to staff being on the district subcommittee? And if so, how do we go about getting on that? Because I don't want more surprises. I'd like to be more involved and know where we're headed for the future, especially if it's gonna be more big change. We got a lot of big changes coming, which is really exciting. It's also a lot of big changes, which comes with a lot of potential issues. So I think having a diverse group, not just, I mean, the board's great, you guys are amazing, but you have a different skill set than the staff has.
Absolutely.
And you might have different concerns than the staff has. So
I believe during our last meeting, we had discussed the opportunity for the public or for staff to be a part of that subcommittee. Do we know, are there any limitations for members outside of the board?
The only limitation would be if the subcommittee recommends things to the board, those people like myself could just vote on that.
Okay.
But other than that, your input is more than welcome. And as we discussed in the last meeting, there are several staff members that would like to be part of it.
Yeah, and I think it would be, like you had said, I think it would be really valuable to hear the other perspectives, especially from the experts that we have working within the library, who are going to largely be impacted as well.
and
I don't know, I would think it'd be wonderful to have a staff member or more than one on it.
I I would be happy to be on the subcommittee.
Would there be any others?
Tina would be interested.
Okay.
I'm not sure about others, but I mean, I think possibly, especially because like I said, it's gonna be big changes for a lot of us, so. I could ask the rest of the staff, but I didn't wanna do that if it wasn't gonna be open to staff.
Can you be here on a Saturday at 10 a.m. to 10:30?
I can be here whenever, you know that.
Do
You
we,
might not be functional.
Yeah, I'm,
do we think, asking the board, do you think it would be, agreeable to make a post to invite staff members or members of the public to attend the subcommittee discussion as a preliminary discussion on this topic? Whether they would like to be a partner on the committee or not, they can attend and, maybe share unique perspectives. And if they decide they would like to be part of the committee to continue that partnership, or if they decide they don't wanna be on the committee and they just wanna share their ideas for that day, that's something we could make open.
I think that goes along with our plan on having an open meeting and making
Mhm.
sure that the public also agrees with what we want to go
Right.
forward with.
Yeah,
I
for our
have no
pro,
problem, I have no
Oh.
problem with that.
Yeah.
I think the more transparent you are, the better off you are. So there's nothing hidden. Especially in the volatile nature of politics here in Holly, transparency would be wonderful.
do we need to,
say,
I don't think we need to do any voting on that, right? We can just ask Greg to notify the public about that special meeting.
Great. I also think that, I don't think we need to have a motion to put at least Tina and Jessica on there.
Mhm.
And anybody else, if Greg could ask them tomorrow, if Greg could ask anybody else who wants to be in on it. I think it'd be great.
and again, like I was saying, not to be a stick in the mud, I'm sorry, I know, not to rain on everyone's parade, I just, I serve a very underrepresented demographic, and I have some very real concerns about everything. Then, like, again, I'm not trying to be contrary or problematic, but it's literally my job to advocate for those kids and their resources, so that's what I'm gonna do, and I just really hope that it all works out in a timely fashion that works for everybody, so I don't have to get creative.
Jessica, do you mind, sharing just briefly what, are your main concerns about equitable access? Is it access to online resources?
So access to online resources is one of it, is definitely a big part of it, but, is everybody on the board aware of the partnership I have with the schools?
Yes.
Okay. So a big part of what makes it an equitable thing is that it's not just giving the kids library cards. It's the delivery service, and it's the fact that it doesn't matter necessarily where they live. It matters that they are at Holly schools, because Holly schools do not offer, they don't have a library. So like, they don't have access to these resources, and everyone knows that the Holly School District, and even just Holly Township, it is big. And a lot of it's pretty rural, and not all of it might not be that big, but if you have to walk everywhere, it's big. So if like, kids don't have parents that understand the value, or maybe it's just work schedules and they just can't get here, like, so that delivery service, the automatic delivery to the schools has been huge. I've seen a really big uptick in teen circulation numbers. I even, last week, the week before school started, we started seeing those reserves come back in because kids are excited to get their books at the school this week. Like, they were just waiting for it. It's like the week before it started coming, I was like, oh, which is great, except that I'm also panicking about about being able to keep the partnership going the way it is. So, because the school cards are separate, we do have some students that have a student card that may also have a just typical Holly Township Library card through their family, but having that student card gives them the access to the delivery service in an automatic fashion, because otherwise if they just reserve a book from their family library card, it just sits on the shelf until somebody comes and gets it. Like, so, and that's, like I said, that delivery part of it and the automatic part of it, and then being able to order their books, to reserve them and just have them come right to them is what makes it equitable instead of just equal access, so.
And just, a clarifying question for me, cause I don't know. School choice students who live outside of the
If they're in high
district,
school
they're
district.
registered and they're able to
Yes.
access that service currently.
Yes.
Would it no longer allow them to
It-
access books from our school, from our library, if that was not available?
Yes.
Okay.
So, well, I mean, unless they're in the TLN, but it just gets confusing and then like it just, the delivery service
gets
goes
muddy.
away and it gets super confusing and complex for them, and that's why I like having the student cards be its own kind of separate type.
Yeah.
This way, regardless of changes in living situations or schedules or any of that stuff, they always have the same access to the materials that they should be able to have access to.
Thank you for clarifying on that, I appreciate it.
No problem. And like I said, I'm not trying to be a naysayer, it's just little problems we gotta figure out. So, because
We
it's important, and I'm just here to make sure that everyone knows it's an important thing for the kids, because they often get overlooked.
Yeah, we appreciate your advocacy. Thanks, Jessica.
Any other public comments? Okay, we will have board member comments. Jim?
Nothing to add.
I was at Junk in the Trunk. That was a great time. There were a lot of people here and it was, yeah, okay, I spent a few dollars. But it was a lot of fun, and I think those kind of projects just open you up to the community. The library was full of people, in addition to people being out in the parking lot. They were buying a lot of books that were out here, that sort of thing. The other thing I want to talk about is little kids. Speaking about an underrepresented group, I like the little youth programs that we have here. I'm not talking about teen programs, those are great. But Debbie does an outstanding job with all the little kid programs. And it's kind of fun to come in here and watch kids go to story hour, and then when they're going home, somebody's got a stack of books that's got to be checked out. And so some little kid saying, hey, I like this book, or I like that book. I think that's really cool, because that's where reading starts. And we do Debbie does an outstanding job with that. And I think we, in addition to the teen thing, we need to support that even more. I would like to have her come and do some presentations at board meetings. And I'm excited about the district library. I recognize right off the bat, there's $1.5 million challenges, but it's worth it. This library is worth saving, and it's worth protecting. The other thing I would like to say is on October 4th, if you want a little bit of entertainment, I am doing a performance at the American Legion called Joe Unplugged. And it's about stories of military life. No, it's not all blood and gore, it's not any of that. But it's just crazy things that happen in the military. Might give you a little better understanding of the military, but I don't read anything. It's a 2-hour performance. I know they'll have refreshments and desserts and that kind of stuff. That's what we're doing. Another thing we're doing, and I thought about doing this at the library, but I don't think there's enough room. On October 18th at the American Legion, and I picked the American Legion because I have people coming from Flint and I have people coming from Clarkston. We're halfway. We are workshopping a brand new play that will be produced by Buck Malley Theater in Flint and by Clarkston Village Players. Either right at the end of May or the first 2 weeks of June, I think. And it has to go with the 250th anniversary of America. It's a patriotic play. It's a drama. It has some funny parts to it, but it's a drama. And we're going to be workshopping it. I've got actors coming in to read the play. And anybody that comes in the audience can hear the play and make any comments they want to make, anything they think. And like or they don't like or whatever, because we wanna make the play a strong thing for when it's produced down the road. So you are all welcome. And again, I was gonna pick here, and then I thought, I gotta get more than that, so, okay, and that's one of the downfalls of this place is we don't have enough room. So that's, those are a couple of things coming up. That's about all I got.
Okay. I've got a few things. First, okay, so I attend the Friends of the Library meetings, and I'm not part of the board or anything like that. The officials, I should say. I just kind of listen in and see what they have to say, because a lot of them can't come to these meetings and watch what we do or anything like that. One of the questions that they had was if the board will be attending the Holidays Parade. Is that something that we know of?
I am driving April in the parade.
Okay,
I am a dancing witch in the parade.
so,
However, if there is a library board or library partnership, I could very well be a dancing witch with the library.
yeah. Well, that's kind of what they were wondering, because they wanted to contact one of the members who has a blue car for the Holly Blue, and they're like, okay, well, if the Friends of the Library is going to be in the parade, will the board be in the parade? So they just kind of wanted to ask about that, and I told them I would ask. So I don't know if we decide to have a separate section just for all the library.
Staff will be in the parade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So like the
That's
staff,
what they were
the
asking
board,
about the board.
friends might be
so it's just all
participating
conglomerate,
together.
everybody together in their Holly Blue. Again with the junk in the trunk, the Friends in the Library, they reported to have a total of $153 that they acquired from everything as a profit for the total sales that just the Friends did. So they got that, and they had all but one spot was sold for vendors, people coming in. And then their book sales, they did an additional $123. So it was really successful for fundraising. And that was exciting, cause there were so many people that came, like so many people that they were so excited. And we all voted about having like the coffee and the donuts and stuff, and having that as an additional purchase, especially for vendors who got there really early, might not have eaten, they were able to come and get something to eat and then be able to do their sales. So that was the overall success. That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Halloween. Doesn't the library do something for Halloween? Or-
We have done in the past. We may not actually be open at that time. We're not sure yet.
That was a great time when I was there.
Tina.
So, didn't we just skipped, trunk or treat last year, and we did
And we did
the-
caramel apples.
Yeah, we had caramel apple nachos in the front yard. I mean, I think we had a lot of people show
We had a
up.
big turnout.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
We had a big turnout for our ice cream social a couple weeks ago too.
yeah,
That was so fun.
I know, it was great.
yeah.
Are we doing caramel apples?
Well, it kind of depends on when we're open, I
Right.
guess. I mean, actually, we could do caramel apples as long as staff could get into the building, even if we weren't officially open.
Would you wanna do it downtown?
No.
That would be chaotic. Too many kids. We would need like 8 volunteers and like 8 stations.
Yeah,
It's just,
I think that would be, yeah.
that would be too much. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids down there during the trunk, like the Halloween. Oof. It's great. I love it, but I don't think they
That
would
would be a
keep
lot.
up.
Yeah.
unless we just go down there and give out candy as the library, but not do the caramel apples.
You only wanna throw.
Yes, I love throwing candy. It's my
Caramel
favorite.
apples?
It is.
You can't throw a caramel apple at a kid,
Oh,
Jessica.
I know, I can't make it rain
Yeah.
caramel apples, that's dangerous.
Okay, for myself, I'll be pretty quick. I'm very excited about, digging into the district library work. I agree it's going to be a big undertaking and a lot of work, but I'm excited for it. I think that protecting our library is so important. And then lastly, I just wanna say, I hope that all of our Holly students had a great first day. Our Holly staff had smooth, perfectly running classrooms, which I'm sure they all did. And, you know, cheers to a great new school year. I'm excited for the school year and for the work that we're doing. And I'm glad that Jessica spoke today. I think that our partnership with the school is very important, and having access to books is something that is continually dwindling in society and in schools. So I think it's important to maintain systems like that, and finding a route to do so would be important work. So, thank you.
Thank you. I will use my comment time to read a portion of the bylaws. So I just want to read this portion that says trustees and the library director shall have the right to have any item placed on the agenda with the approval of the board president. If the president does not agree with the item, 2 board members can agree to place the item on the agenda. Additional items may be presented by a library trustee, the library director, or members of the public at a meeting if approved by a majority of the trustees in attendance. That is my comment. If there are no objections, we will adopt the motion to adjourn. Any objections? This meeting is adjourned.
Yes, sir. 9 AM.